Okay guys, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Now, fasten your seatbelts. Here we go. Okay guys, I am back and we are going to be discussing today the upcoming, they have this planned, and a lot of movies that are coming out like Disclosure Day are pointing to this. I do believe that this is going to happen. I believe it with all my heart, and I believe that it is a false alien disclosure. So let's take a look at this. Where this probably won't be a long video. I'm just going to touch on this, and I am going to do another video tonight as well. Hopefully, I have to go out. Hopefully, when I get back, there will be still time to do another video because I have got lots to bring to you. Anyway, welcome back to the channel. If you are returning and if you are new, well then, welcome. We discuss a lot of religious things, a lot of political things, and all sorts of things like that. So anyway, we're going to take a look at this, and hang on here till I get there. Now, pastors across the United States are now stepping forward and revealing they were briefed in a secret meeting with government officials about how to reveal the existence of aliens to their congregation. Now, it'll be interesting to see how these pastors present this, because there are a lot of churches which are maybe, well, some are definitely CIA assets, and some are CIA influenced. A lot of the big churches that we see today, a lot of those pastors are CIA assets. Let's just put it that way. And so it's not surprising that they would contact some of these bigger churches to help break this to their congregation. Now, it's just going to be interesting the way they present it, because certainly if it's not presented correctly, it could really, really affect people's faith big time, because it's going to seem very real. And most people are going to believe it's real, that it's really happening, and maybe it will be happening. These could be demonic entities. We know that governments around the world are in coercion or in cooperation rather with these entities. They seek advice and help, and yeah. So yeah, it's just very interesting that they're preparing these pastors to tell their congregations this kind of information. Now, I've known about this, the connection between the CIA and churches, for a very long time, because I was involved in a church that was such, and was definitely a cult. I've detoxed from that many, 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 many years by reading my Bible backwards and forwards and studying theology, studying history, and so forth. So I have detoxed from that, but I am very aware that churches are being influenced by the government. Definitely they are. So yeah, it says, go and tell the church they are not ready for what is coming. They are preparing to tell us they are from another dimension and that they are our creators. They are not our creators. We have one creator. His name is Jesus Christ. He was the Word. He was the door, the gate, the way, the truth, the life. Yeah, and no man cometh to the Father except through Jesus Christ. And I believe that. I believe that solidly, and I am not going to let these distractions distract me from my faith and what I believe, because God is true and every man is a liar. So, yeah. So let's just take a look at this.
Fellow pastors are invited to come to a private meeting with a group of men who are connected with the intelligence world, that are believers, but are still have very high security clearance. These are legit, true men of God that are still connected to Washington and even this current administration and all branches of military. And they literally...
I have a hard time believing that if a pastor is a CIA asset, that he is a man of God or a woman of God. I have a hard time. Why? Well, they are the ones that contacted churches and told them to, encourage their congregants to get vaccinated. I mean, even Franklin Graham was out there touting this. Oh, yes, you need to get vaccinated. We need to obey the authorities, blah, blah, blah. Well, I obey authorities and I obey the laws of man. I do. However, if those laws contradict God's laws, I don't obey and I won't obey. Simple as that. And I'm not putting a bioweapon into my body. Just not. Anyway.
He told us we had a sitting congressman, a very well-known congressman from Missouri. He called into that meeting as well. That was just for pastors. And this is what he said. On speakerphone, this sitting powerful member of Congress said, "Are the pastors listening to me?" I'm getting chills right now because this happened to me. He said, "Are the pastors in the room listening to me?" And I said, "Yes, sir, we are here." And he said, "Listen to me. Go and tell the church they are not ready for what is coming. The narrative that is coming, what they are going to say is going to be like nothing you can even imagine. They are preparing to tell us that they are from another dimension, that they are our creator, and that these beings, these aliens, or whatever you want to call them, they were the ones that seeded us here. There is no such thing as God. Jesus was invented by them. The Bible was invented by them." And begin to just say, listen, prepare the people for what is coming because they're not ready. But he loved us so much. He made sure that he told us exactly the blueprint to study. Yes. He said, study the days of Noah. And if you can understand how Noah responded, that's how you're going to have to respond. And I believe what God is doing in the body of Christ right now.
And the Bible talks about a deception in the end days. Now, I am not sure if this in particular is what the Bible is referring to, or if it's just overall deception, which I am more likely to believe that it is just overall deception in general, because the church is deceived. They're preaching false doctrine, especially the Seven Mountain Mandate, dominionism, the apostolic movement, and so forth. These are all false doctrine, easily provable false. So, yeah. There is deception in general that has increased in these last days, but there is a great deception, and it just makes me wonder, because it says that narrow is the road and few there be that find it. And it also says in the word that when Jesus Christ comes back, will he even find faith on the earth? Wow, that's how rare it's going to be for somebody to still have their faith when the Lord comes back. And why is that? Deception. What else could take people that really, and I do truly believe that there are many that sincerely love the Lord and want to do his will that are deceived. And we are told again and again and again, in fact, in talking about the end times, that was the number one thing that Jesus repeated. Don't let yourselves be deceived. So please know that this is coming. Prepare yourself for it, because they are going to have disclosure. It is coming. I believe that with every fiber of my being, but it's false. It's false, because if we can all concentrate on aliens, the world against aliens. See, the world will unite against a common enemy. And if you want to understand this further, read the book 1984. I don't care if you say, well, I read it in high school, I read it in college. It doesn't matter. Read it again, because I have read it again. I did a huge essay on it in when I was doing my master's, but I've revisited even since then, and it is so applicable to right now what is happening. So you can read it for free online. So just look it up. Even YouTube, I think, probably has the movie that you can watch for free if you are not a reader, but I would suggest that strongly. I'm just wondering if there's anything here else about let's go on then to the next item. Excuse me. And we're going to go to this. I'm not sure why, but now when you grab a link from X, it makes you go through that extra step. I'm not sure why or when that changed, but it's recent. Christian Zionist pastor who attended the secret meeting with government officials about how to reveal the existence of aliens says that the truth and a major disclosure will come this year from our government. He says non-terrestrial, interdimensional beings are real. Absolutely, they're real. They're called demons, angels, and demons. It's all spiritual. He says non-terrestrial interdimensional beings are real and among us, and that will be proven. Well, we know that they're among us. I don't know about you, but when I was growing up, I had a lot of demonic activity that surrounded me. Our house was what many would call haunted. It was finally cast out of our house by a pastor, and I don't know. The house has been sold, and I've never had the nerve to go up and knock on the door and ask the new people if they're experiencing anything in the house, because I don't want to put that in their head. And, sometimes if we find out somebody else has experienced a haunting in the place we live, we might start feeling a little paranoid. So I don't want them to feel that. But grew up in a haunted house. Really a lot of experience with that. It was definitely a demonic presence. There is no question it was malevolent. And after that, I moved into a place when I was young, and I was still very young. I think I was in my early 20s. I moved into a place, and it was the worst haunted building I've ever, everyone, it was a huge house divided into 3 apartments, and we all experienced demonic activity. And there is no question that it was demonic activity. I will tell you one experience. It did not happen to me. I don't really want to go into my experiences there because they are awful. But one experience, there was a tiny apartment. It was the smallest apartment in this massive house, and it was just a little 1-bedroom apartment. And it was being rented to someone that was managing a bank nearby, and a very, very nice, fairly young woman, and she had a dog. Not that it matters. There's a lot of stuff surrounding the dog as well, but the dog was okay in the end. But the people that lived there before her told her a story, and they had a baby. And, they moved partially because it was haunted, and partially because a baby, a couple with a baby in a 1-bedroom apartment is, a little crowded. So she would go in and change the baby's diapers, and she had a diaper service, where they come and pick, I don't know, they deliver clean diapers, but they're the old cloth type. They're not, modern diapers, which is a heck of a lot cheaper than modern diapers. But anyway, that's what she had. But the pins to the diapers would always disappear. And she couldn't understand it. She'd put a pin down, she'd go to wrap up the baby, and the pin would be gone. And this happened almost every time she changed the child. She kept having to buy more and more pins for the diapers. And she couldn't understand what was going on. Then one day, they turned the mattress over because, well, a lot of people do that, extends the life of the mattress. They turned the mattress over, and there, pinned in rows, were all the pins from the diapers that were missing. Now, I would discount that, except that I had my own horrific experiences in that house. So I know that there are interdimensional beings, there are demons, there are angels, and if you're a Christian, you no doubt believe in angels, but there's a lot of Christians that don't believe in demons, and I can't understand that. The Bible is so clear. But anyway, if you doubt that there's interdimensional beings, then you don't believe in angels and demons. So I believe that. I just don't believe that they're aliens from another planet and all that. I just don't. I believe the Bible. So, So he says many Christians will be taken captive by this, and I do believe that. And he, along with other pastors, needs to speak about it first. The Trump administration is going to attempt to make history. So, and we know that the Trump administration has been talking about disclosure. Well, why now? Why now? Why did they keep it secret all those years, and now they're going to let everybody in on it? I don't know. Makes me question. So, here's another one. We were in the private UFO meeting for pastors. No cell phones were allowed. Interesting. Just 2 days after a private pastor's disclosure meeting on UFOs and non-human intelligence. We were flying from Tennessee to Colorado Springs when 6 unidentified objects appeared directly in front of the plane. They kept pacing us in the sky, unexplained. This happened February 20th, 2026, the same week the president ordered agencies to reveal the truth about aliens and UFOs. Pastors, start preparing your people now. The church cannot be caught off guard. And I believe that. The church cannot be caught off guard. Anyway, let me see down here. Yeah, and here is something else as well. We know about Project Bluebeam. If you don't, look it up. You need to know. Pastor Larry Ragland, we will see. And I don't know these people, if they are true Christians or not, true pastors or not. I don't know. I'm just reporting. Pastor Larry Ragland, we will see Jesus appearing in the sky as a false rapture as they push the alien narrative. Pastor Larry Ragland warns about the coming alien disclosure. We're going to see UAPs, unidentified aerial phenomena. We're going to see UFOs, unidentified flying objects. We're going to see things coming up out of the water. Factor in AI, deepfake technology, Project Bluebeam, and advanced drones now, and it will be almost impossible to know what's real and what's not real. It's already getting impossible to tell what's real and what isn't real. I mean, it is. How can you deny that? Some of these AI fakes are so good. So he predicts we could soon see Jesus appearing in the sky as part of a false rapture, pushing the idea that aliens seeded humanity and that religious figures were part of their plan. What do you think is behind the UFO push? How would you respond if you saw this unfold? Well, we're about to see this unfold, so we will know how we will respond when it happens. But I can tell you and warn you that it's going to appear very real. Very, very real. Wow. DARPA, I didn't even know this. This is actually a little bit off topic, what we're doing right now, but it's interesting, so I'm going to read it. DARPA has an invisible weapon that cooks you alive, and it's already being used on people who can't prove it. The active denial system is real, a silent directed energy weapon with DARPA fingerprints all over it, built to override the human nervous system by convincing your body it's being burned alive from the inside, triggering panic, paralysis, vomiting, loss of motor control, and collapse without bullets, sound, marks, or evidence. The perfect weapon if you don't want witnesses or accountability. The U.S. military admitted it was too unpredictable for Iraq, yet during the D.C. protests, there were reportedly discussions about domestic use. A moment that showed how fast extreme battlefield technology can move from foreign war zones to civilian streets once it leaves. No blood, no proof, and no accountability. It's terrifying. It's terrifying. Now, I'm not asking anybody to be afraid. Don't. God has not given us a spirit of fear. That is what the Bible says. We're not given a spirit of fear. This isn't to, it's to inform you. It's not to scare you. Then there's Venezuela. Guards tied to the Maduro operation described a sudden invisible force, crushing pressure in the skull, nosebleeds, vomiting, blood, bodies dropping instantly, people unable to stand or move afterward, no shots fired, no gas, no explosions, no explanation, just human systems failing all at once, like someone's flipped a switch on their biology. They call it non-lethal. They say it's just heat. They promise no lasting effects. That's exactly how you describe a weapon designed for quiet use. When you want compliance without martyrs, injuries without proof, and control without headlines. DARPA doesn't build deterrence, it builds future enforcement systems. And systems like this don't get shelved. They get smaller, quieter, and harder to detect. If invisible weapons already exist that can shut the human body down on command, the real terror isn't whether they'll be used, it's how many times they've already been, and how you'd ever know the difference between a medical emergency and a weapon test. Well, you wouldn't. And of course, the Vigilant Fox, I really like them, report claims are exploding online that U.S. government has been holding secret meetings with pastors, and that is true. I've heard it now from too many to doubt it. So there you go. Now we're going to take a look at this, which actually I don't think is related to this.
This next story is
yes. Okay. We're not going to watch all of this, but my gosh, he has some very, very good things to say.
Absolutely wild as pastors around the country are allegedly told to meet with U.S. government officials as there are about to be disclosures about aliens and UFOs. Yep, you heard this correctly, as Pastor Perry Stone on YouTube just...
Now, I don't agree with Perry Stone's theology because he is a dominionist, but his theology is a lot better than most of the dominionists, and I'm not questioning his theology here. You know, he is saying this, that he found out from other pastors that had gone to this, and I believe him. I have no reason to disbelieve him. You know, so...
released a message that a lot of people are saying is sounding the alarms on non-human life forms that are about to be disclosed to the general public. What in the world is actually going on here? As of course, a lot of people are saying this could lead towards a predictive type of programming that David Icke is warning about.
And it's interesting, you know, the name of this is David Icke Was Effing Right. And I never really got into David Icke, and I don't know, reptilians or not, you know, who knows at this point? Really, who knows? But this preacher claims this is from David Icke, this preacher claims a group of U.S. pastors have been warned to prepare their people for the release of files about non-human craft and reptilian creatures. Well, I am not so sure that reptilian creatures don't exist. I don't understand it. I don't know if that's what demons look like in real life. I don't know. You know, but I've been exposing these themes and details in my books for 30 years amid massive ridicule, but we need to be very careful about how such information is communicated and the context in which it is delivered. It is conceptualized as proof that religious stories are true. We should realize that the interdimensional force behind human control, which in part takes a reptilian form, which, I mean, he's been saying that really 30 years. And, you know, at first I thought he was absolutely crazy. And I'm still not so sure, but I'm not so sure that there aren't reptilians. I just don't know. If there are, they are most certainly demonic. I've never heard anything good about reptilians. So if it is conceptualized as proof that religious stories are true, and we should realize that the interdimensional force behind human control, which in part takes a reptilian form, has been behind the creation of religion, I don't believe that. I don't believe that these reptilians are behind the creation of religion. That is part of the deception. That's part of the deception that's coming. He says, I've also talked to many military and former military personnel over the decades that have directly interacted with reptilian and other non-human entity like the Greys in the DUMBs or deep underground military bases. Not only has a military cult inner circle of government known about these entities since way back, they've been working with them and doing their bidding. Now, I've been saying that for years, that they are getting their information off-world, if you know what I mean, from demonic entities. That is what I believe, that the governments of the world are working with these entities. Maybe not all governments, but many. So, yeah. So it isn't a mystery what is happening. The spin would be pure bullshit. We have to see what is said and how it is spun. But yeah, for sure. And
he responded
so he
into
talks
that and a
about
lot
that.
more.
But he also, and he gets into what Perry Stone has to say. We already know basically what Perry Stone had to say, that the government is holding these meetings with pastors and that this is forthcoming. Now, when? Sometime this year. I believe it'll be sooner rather than later this year, but I've been wrong before. Now, let's go, because he does talk about, let me see here.
That this is...
Well, you're not, you have no...
Let's go to about, I think it was around the 11-minute mark that we want to start. Okay. Now, he's on the same thing, but he's going to get into, let me see here. All right.
Tim Pool was there. This was for the Timcast IRL show. Great show. Go watch it, because I made it a point. Wait. This was during the election year. We have to talk about aliens. We have to talk about, and then we got into it on stage. Go watch that podcast. Amazing podcast. With Charlie adding his kind of commentary to it too. He goes on. So it's a mystery what is happening, spin, as my assessment on it. And I've been saying, look, I'm seeing the writing on the wall. Disclosure is going to happen.
It is going to happen.
I predicted it's going to happen in 2026. I've been telling people it's going to happen in 2026. This will be the year of disclosure.
Yes.
But why? And I said, let's see what happens.
Exactly.
Problem, reaction,
Why?
solution. Who benefits off of it? What's the long-term type of reaction? What's going to be the reason why now, out of all the times, we're being told, hey, aliens exist. Once we see the results of that, then we could come to a conclusive kind of understanding. Like, okay, now I see the full picture. We don't see the full picture yet. We just see on the horizon massive amount of like, what the hell's going on?
Exactly.
Shock and awe type of information. Now, is that part of a misinformation war? Is that part of a psyop? Time will tell.
I believe, yes.
Because like governments aren't usually honest just for the pure sake of honesty. They're not. Quote, if they want us to know anything, it's because it suits them and their agenda of human manipulation and control. We should see whatever they say in that context. Exactly. Now, this pastor's probably telling the truth here, right? Especially with Trump always kind of hinting, always telling that we're privy to that other scene after all the laughter, but they still won't be telling. As we just got on, I don't agree with them fully, but sometimes they really do incredible.
Representative Burchett, we have sworn testimony that there are recovered alien bodies. We've been briefed on locations. A member of Congress, a close friend of mine, this guy said to me, Tim, why do you want to do this? Don't you know this is going to disrupt everything? Well, yeah, I think they know that. I really do. But let's go on.
Amazing work, especially when it comes to fighting the mass surveillance system. As we just got a new trailer.
Now, he's going to be discussing this disclosure day, and this is very important. And then later he's going to discuss, oh gosh, what was that movie? Leave the World Behind.
A new teaser trailer for the Steven Spielberg film Disclosure Day that a lot of people, including this pastor, are saying is being deliberately released as a way to do us off to disclosure. David Icke has called this movie predictive programming. Here's the latest teaser for this movie that a lot of people believe is based on the reality of the current situation that all of us are going to be going through.
I believe that.
See? See? Yeah. 79 year. When does that date back to? Oh, the nuclear bomb. So already sprinkling in. Yeah.
Yep.
As this pastor came out and then described how this movie has some basis of reality to it towards what's coming.
Absolutely.
What are these things that are appearing? Steven Spielberg is about to do a movie, and he's basing it on some of what I've been told, the information that he's come across, that he's had research presented to him. So it's like a sci-fi movie, but it's not a sci-fi movie. Now, I want to say this. I want you to listen to me very carefully what I'm going to say. What I'm going to say is going to be a little bit controversial, but my son wants him and I. Now, my son's way out there. I'm letting you know up front. He's got some theories, and it's like, Jonathan, where did you come up with that? And he's a researcher. He's wide open on a lot of things that most people would not even be aware of, or some people wouldn't be interested in, but others are definitely interested in. Okay, first of all, we read this in the Bible. By faith, we understand that the worlds were created and framed by the Word of God. Now, the worlds there would be the planets, the earth, and remember this, that...
What if aliens did it, as David Icke says it? Now, a lot of people are saying Roswell disclosure is coming soon, alien disclosure coming soon. A lot of people are saying that this is just...
Just 1 second, because I want to read that to you, that what he just... The U.S. government can't tell us which races are here or why, but they have the physical evidence. Pleiadians call this race Zep. It's a really good place for an eye roll here. They're harmless explorers who crash due to their own carelessness, not because of human weapons. Yeah, they crash due to their own carelessness, but these are the race that supposedly created us. That are so far advanced in intelligence, but they crash due to carelessness. Okay. Their craft and bodies were recovered and have been studied for years. A prototype was created by the military. Trump knows. This conversation with Don Jr. was preparation. They wanted to see our reaction. It wouldn't have happened unless there was a plan. Oh, I definitely believe that there is a plan.
Disclosure coming soon. A lot of people are saying that this is just a big old type of distraction here. Trump's comments on all of this have been pretty wild.
There are millions and millions of people that want to go there, that want to see it. I won't talk to you about what I know about it, but it's very interesting. But Roswell's a very interesting place with a lot of people that would like to know what's going on.
So you're saying you may declassify? Oh. You'll take it?
Well, I'll have to think about that one, right? I'll have to think.
Now, that would definitely cement Trump's type of presidency, his legacy. He cares about his legacy a lot. He would be the president that just changed the world by disclosing these aliens. What are going to be the consequences of these aliens? As some people are saying, there's no such thing as disclosure. It will never happen, like Bob Lazar here, who is saying, yeah, we're not going to get the truth here. I'm skeptical of any government doing anything, but there is a chance that Trump... if this isn't an AI fake video, I question everything now.
Oh,
I'm like,
yeah, you should.
I'm like taking a step back from everything. Every time I see something, I'm like, do I believe it? I don't know.
It's hard to tell these days.
First instinct, skepticism. I'm going to be skeptical.
That should always be your first instinct.
I think that's our kind of best way to approach a lot of this type of madness, insanity that all of us are being kind of plunged into. What do you think is going to be happening next? Let us know.
Well, I absolutely believe that there is disclosure coming. I think that is what is behind all these scientists disappearing or having these mysterious deaths. There's 12 now, all linked to jet propulsion and anti-gravity, which is interesting. I think it's interesting. Know about you, but very interesting stuff here. Let's look at this. I can't remember what this is. It's the exact same thing. Yes, I put it in there twice, I guess, so I definitely wouldn't forget it, which I didn't. So that is going to be that for this video, because I do want to just stick to that topic for this video, and I am going to be doing a video on the Met Gala, also something that's going to be happening at Sodom and Gomorrah. So yeah, those videos are coming up. They will be shorter videos, but full of information, I hope. So that is going to be that for now, and I love you guys. I think you're awesome, and thank you for listening. I appreciate it. I know you have a choice of who to listen to, so I'm always, not not flattered, but I don't know what the word would be. I'm always grateful when somebody chooses to spend time listening to me. So anyway, you guys have a wonderful evening. Stay safe, stay well, stay blessed, stay free, stay informed. And if you want, stay here. And I will see you in the next video. Love you guys. Good night.